Hi everybody, this is Dawn Scrapbook Sage. I hope you're all doing well today. So it is Wednesday and I'm doing what's on my desk. So yesterday I made a lot of great things and I wanted to show you what they were. I've put them on my desk so we can sort through and you can sort of see what my process is, and I can talk about that a little bit. So here are some cards that I made today, actually, not yesterday. But handwriting was one of the things that was on our list. And I had a pile of cards. I have Christmas cards that I want to make sure I have the addresses in my phone book. I have the envelopes and the cards that I want to process. They're in a basket that is, I have 2 tables that are off of my craft room that I'm using for Calvin Ball because I'm doing such a big mass make. It's sort of an extra workstation there. I don't always have access to that, but I've set it up for Calvin Ball and when I do craft fairs. So I will go put things in that bin if I can't work on it right now, but I hope to work on it this month. So here are some letters that I have made. There's stamps on them. They're Thomas K cards. I wrote a note to people. I dated them. I stamped them. And I put stamps on them. So these are going to go out either today or sometime this week. And I will go ahead and put them over here to the side because I don't want them in my bin. Okay, so yesterday I had these cute little, notepads on my desk that were not stamped. A lot of my friends are doing Dollar Tree, and so I wanted to pull out my index cards and make some. I don't know if I'm going to make a Dollar Tree journal, but I know a lot of people are making them. So and lines were one of our options for our rules. So I grabbed my index cards. I have not stamped the back. I might, but I haven't. And I grabbed some of these. I had not finished my gold roll of ribbon, but I sewed those or glued those, put stamps and some of the different embellishments. So what I will go through, I'm just going to put them in my ephemera box here, my bucket. I will go through these later and separate them like spring, summer, winter, fall. So this speaks summer to me because it is like travel. And the other ones were spring. So I will go ahead and organize those. This I am doing I know I am currently working on an India inspired journal. So I'm going to set that aside. Earlier this morning, I got together a couple little packs like this. So here's a blue journal that I'm working on, and I will put that in the India journal. So this could be spring or summer. And then I work on a lot of nautical journals, you guys know. So I pulled in the green. There are some arrows there, but it doesn't matter. I was wanting to use, so a little bit later on in the day, I grabbed my washi to finish off this set of index cards. So it wasn't all at one time because I work really random. But I have like a little basket of washi tape, or several, and I know if I don't use them in 2 years, they're not going to be good. So this is how I like to prep my washi tape and to put it on index cards or whatever needs to happen. So this is a lot of stuff that's on my desk. If I want to use these and add them to journals later and I want to add more things to it, I have the flexibility to do that. But these are good bases to start. And I know I make really simple journals, but I like the idea of blinging out journals a little bit more. I knew if I built up my stash, I could have more. I'm working on a journal that looks like that too. That will give me more value. So I have a time travel journal I'm working on. I don't have anything coffee right at this moment. So anyways, this is the process that I go through. So yesterday I just went through and used my washi. I don't do that too often, but I do it with my little bits all the time. So I'm going to set these aside because I have a home for, I need to do something with those. And I did the same with these great little pieces. So I played around with putting ribbon on there. I decided that took too much time. But we had the polka dot scraps and I wanted to use the hearts and the negatives. So I put washi on there and just sort of decorated things up a little bit here. I can use these in kits or use them for myself. So I started out the day with my leftover pieces of paper that were hearts or whatever. And I knew I wanted to cover up the holes here that were just holes and I didn't want to string them through. So I used my little punch art and made these a little bit more usable. Again, I could stamp these on the back if I want to do that. I had made these cards earlier, but they needed to be sewn, so I sewed them. And then I had this little bit of lace and staples, so instead of having to string that through, I went ahead and used the staple. So that is something that I did yesterday. And here are some more of these cute little ephemera pieces that I went through and put washi tape on. And I'm not going to worry about that. So you guys see the process. So I also have like a little bin of, my little turtle holds the little bits and pieces. So if I want to add a heart to here that matches later, I can do that. It's available, but I've picked from that to get some of these embellished out for what we were working on yesterday. And now I can just add these to journals and I am good to go. So you guys, so here are some more of those. I have, what's in here? These are just, oh, so this was probably the first batch that I did. I didn't want them to get damaged, so I put them in this little sleeve, and I should put these other ones into a little sleeve. But these aren't as done. It's not going to matter that much. Okay, this was also one of my first projects of the day, well, part of the day. So I had these blank tags and I knew I wanted to cover them with paper. I grabbed, this is probably really one of my first projects, some blue polka dot paper. I glued the tags onto them and then I picked things out of my little turtle to embellish them up. I had some of those little pearl things. I thought those were cute. I thought these would be great bases for working on things later in journals. So I can go ahead and add this to, I haven't counted any points for these because I haven't used them on pages. So I'm just making my ephemera for my everyday use. So a true process, something that I do every day, if not every other day, is I will throw all my pieces of paper that I've cut off, like see how this is aged, and there's actually two here. I will cut them off, save my little strips of things, and you can tell these are all cut offs. And I had a set of twos. I had worked on a journal for Defember Ember a while ago and made a digital with the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4 through 9, and just the whole pages were twos. So I ended up printing up one of those, pulling it out of I have a box where if I print up ephemera, I'll just throw it in there and then I will cut things as I can get to them. So it gives me a variety to work with. I had already shown you guys this. So these I had went ahead and sewn through earlier, and then I took my little turtle and added things to it if it needed it. And then I will often just count 15 of these out and bag them, and they're called little bits. Or I will separate them out by season. So this would be fall, This would be spring. I'm not going to go through it all now. That's probably fall. This could be winter. This is spring. This is summer. This is summer. I'm working on a black and white journal. So I'm going to set this aside. I know I'm going to need that. And I'm going to be doing lace journals as well. This has a heart on the lace, so, or not a heart, a flower on the lace. So I thought that was cool. I will be using that too. I am making boho lace journals, and we've got the avocado. I'm going to pull that out so that those will be used up and I don't have to worry about them later. Let's see. Here is one of the little birthday things that we were able to work on. So if I know there's themes in the projects that I've worked on, I will separate those out. There's wedding in India. I'm working on those. And these are all great. They're pretty, they're neutral. They can be used for anything. So yesterday I'm working on a book. I have a book journal too, so I'll pull out the book ones. I want to do an Indian journal. I don't know that I'm going to get to it for Calvin Ball, but I'll set it here just in case. Let's see. I don't need these. I don't need these. I'm going to keep this for the book journal. There's a little cat and travel there. That's cool. And then for the book journal. Let's see, roses. I'm going to pull these out because I might work on my own. I want to make my own wedding junk journal, and I'm doing wedding journals this month. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do my own photos and stuff. I might do a page here or there, and we'll go from there. So I'm just looking through. All these are nominal, but I will use, let's see. I will get to these later if I need to. So anyways, that was part of that project. And here are all my twos. Some fun flowers and all this stuff. I can't remember if I showed these to you guys yesterday or not. I went through and stamped Happy Spring on all of these. Some of them opened and some of them didn't because I glued wrong. So I will fix them and use them as I need to later, but this is my good bases. I've got some strong bases there. That could be a birthday one if we wanted to do something for a birthday. Okay, so I went through also, this was earlier, beginning of the day. I had, let's see. So I had a set of stickers and I just added those, and then I did the green stamp on the back. So if I wanted to use that for Calvin Ball, I want to washi these up. So I'm going to keep on working on those. I don't feel like those are done yet. So this was that little label that I had, and I had some of the polka dot paper, and it was an extra one, and I missed it when I was, it was in a little pad, just like this. I want to do it for, it was in a pad just like this, and so I want to go through and stamp all of these and do something similar to these with all of these. So I'm going to go through and stamp or put washi on all this and process those. So that is a plan. I don't know if I'll get to it today. So one of the washis that I wanted to use up because it is starting to rip and be problematic was the script washi. So I went through and I had this really cool pink paper with the foil, and I have a home for this, so I will put that in its home. And I will, let me show you something else that I get to work on. So, yes, this is my hot mess. Here is a little bin that I've been working out of. And this is pretty much what I organize by seasons. So I have spring, summer, winter, or fall and winter here usually. I've been using these in journals, and this will probably be filled up with everything that's in my green box I've been working on the last couple days. I just haven't counted things out. So I'm working, this is a work in progress, but this is how I organize my brighter colors, and then I have this also for neutrals. Okay, sorry for the noise back there. I had pulled out some frames because they were sitting in front of my postage journal that I wanted to show you guys. And so yeah, I will organize these pretty much by season and bag them out, and I will save some for myself and or put them in Happy Mail or put them in the shop. What I do is at Crafted and Seaside, I'll make a shop of a little bag of these for $5. And if you spend $50 in the shop, you get one of those for free. So it's a great way to feel like I'm getting value out of the scraps that I use and spending a little time doing that. Okay, so a couple years, and so yeah, I'm working. Today, I need to make probably 100 of these is my goal for today, and I will get there. I think I showed these to you guys yesterday. They were just at the bottom of the pile. Right. Okay, so these are some more of those labels. And I had made that little card, and then I saw that card and was like, I really should stamp those labels. So I stamped the labels with this dream because it fit, and then it said butterfly wings. And then I had the trim, and I wanted to use staples. So I went ahead and stapled that down. And my goal is to use as much lace as I can this month and make a lot of really cool lace journals. So that is a process that I'm working on as well. And I knew when I was working, I know I'm probably going way into detail, but people want to know how I work on my desk. So I was working on those, and I liked the little pieces of lace, but some of the lace was too flat, but I knew that this part of the lace would be really cute with that process. So I just cut a section of this off and then cut that out and use that to build up those little pieces. Again, I throw my lace there. So at the end of the day, any cutoffs that I have, I will just trim these down and run things through the sewing machine. If I have a piece of lace that is really cool like this, I might use it as a pocket or whatever. So I just keep lace on my desk and work from where it needs to go to. So stencils have been added to our process. I have stars, arrows, hearts here, the little window boxes, and different things. I am going to put them in with my stamps that are on my desk right there. So if I need to use them later, I can. So this is a card I want to work on, or it's going to go into a junk journal. We'll see how it goes. Here are some more of those index cards. I had a sticker set of Winnie the Pooh. I went ahead and put those on there. These got buried. That happens, right? Because I was like, where did that set go? I was going to sew colored lace on this, and it was sitting over by my sewing machine, and I just found it again this morning. So I told you that I wanted to do more lace, and I want to put like the pinks and the light blues on here. So I will do that later, and I will just put that on my sewing machine. Speaking of different things, I was cleaning out the things that had post-it postage items, like my cards from Christmas and even older cards, things that just sort of got put over to the side and I cleaned off that shelf. There's a cute note from a friend of mine that she has passed away, but we went to church together and I love her dearly, and I want to make sure this goes into my actual journal. So I went ahead and just put green stars on here because it's Calvin Ballman. And it's what was on my desk. And this is the journal that I'm working out of for March, April, and January, February, March. And let's see. I went to find a place for March, so we're already in March. And that's my third signature. So I'm just going to put this little note here for Sandy. And this is my journal for this month. Okay. I've already done a flip through of January with that. I haven't done a whole lot more beyond that. Okay, so stamps. I pulled out my stamp journal because I wanted to show you what I have been doing with my stamps. So I took the mail from Christmas and I cut down the envelopes and I made them long pockets so that I can use those later, and I just put them in. I have a little basket here of things that I'm working on. And then I kept these because it has dates on them. I thought that was cool, and it has Christmas things. So I can make little pockets or maybe little hidden paper clips out of these. I can use them as far, I can tear them in half and sew them up and do my little sewing clusters. So that is how I plan on using those, and I'll get to that. So as I was cleaning up my space, that's what I was working on. And then I made this journal, isn't it cool? Out of a flat rate envelope. It is a flow journal. So I can pull out pages if I need to or not. This is cool. I wish I had this, would have seen this earlier. Didn't think of having it. I just made a couple of Chinese New Year journals for a friend of mine. So that reminds me. So I will pull this out. And let's see. Okay, so earlier last month, I worked on a Chinese New Year's journals, a few of them for a friend of mine, and I cut down a whole book that had postcards of China in it. And and then there are all the book pages. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in there. So when I make more Chinese New Year journals next year, I'm good to go. So right above my left-hand shoulder, I have a basket that has decade pouches just like that. So from the early 1800s to now, whenever I find something like January 216, I could go ahead and process all these if I want to, or I think I will just go ahead and put it in that in my little pouch. So when I'm working on a decade journal for the teens and in the teens for the 2000s, I have something to pull through and I can build up on that journal. So I will do that. Let's see. I will find that home later. But anyways, so again, that is pretty much my process. I'll grab something and I'll have one idea, and that idea may change within the next couple minutes. I have a couple, I knew I for example, here are some Chinese cutoffs that I had, and I wanted to add it to that Chinese pack, and I just hadn't done it. Okay, so back to my postal journal. I do want to make one of these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in March. I need to make it for the Cannon Beach. They have this whole, they're starting to have a whole section at the museum. I sell my journals there as well. And they had a lady who actually delivered the mail back in the day, and I want to do a journal on her. I just haven't done it yet. So, and then I also would like to do more philanity journal or journals and talking about different countries and maybe why the stamp was made. So I got a really cool set of stamps that I will be playing with for years, and I do want to learn the history about them a little bit more. So how I was doing that is when I first got the set, which was the summer of 2022, I started using my index cards, and I would put a stamp on there and look up the history. So this was sitting over to the side. It's like something I started back then, but I didn't get it into its home, and so I thought I would grab this really quick and put that in there and then show you guys what a flow journal is. So this is a flow journal. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but everything in this journal is postal related. So whenever, in an ideal world, I will have journals, like I will have a spring flower journal. I will have a spring bee journal that looks just like this, and I can pull things out of it as I need to use it when I craft. So that is something that I would like to do. I just haven't gotten there yet. So when I went to an estate sale and bought some stamps for a really reasonable price, and they also had, so I was practicing making little stamp holders and stuff, and this is just made out of glassine paper. So I was sewing those, seeing if it works. Not quite sure how functional it is, but, and then I made one of these for a friend of mine just like this, so that she could have her stamps, and it was a little bit smaller. But if I don't know of a stamp and I want a home for it, I'll research it. So here's Norway. So maybe I'll do a journal on Norway and have stamps that are available. Or I've got this available for somebody who might want to purchase Norway stamps. I just haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. These were well taken care of, and I want to do some more research on that. So I do try to, like, I will craft with stamps, and if they're a nominal price, then I won't use them. And so this is a great flow, a great tear journal. I just haven't used it enough. And these were just all little extra pieces from the supplementals. And then I've got some pages from different countries still in there that I need to research. So there is my stamp journal. And the reason I showed you that is I have a box that I need to go through and fill this up. So yesterday I went through and put stamps on a lot of those index cards, and so I worked this down. Yvette often will have these little tins in her shop. I will send them to her, and she sells them in the shop for me, 50 stamps in these little tins. So I think those are really cute too. Okay, let me see. This is where I had all the addresses of people that I wanted to write notes to. I'm going to put this so it has a little home. Here is a stamp I hope to use today because we're doing stamps, and I want to go through and stamp onto some coffee dye paper that I made. This is a project I need to get to. Here are little hearts that I'll put in my little bin. I will use these as tags for my journals and different things that I take to the shop, both here and in Seaside and Cannon Beach. Okay, so this is an extra one of these for themes I might play with. Not quite sure where I'm at with that yet, so I'm just going to put that so I can grab it later. Here is the coffee dyed paper I did last night. And is this still wet? Yes. So I had stamped those cards and I ended up putting the stamp on the stamp pad wrong, but it's not wet enough. So I'm just going to throw that away and grab a new one. And I am going to wipe down my coffee dyed paper and my green ledger paper because I like to have a lot of those both available. So I use a cookie sheet that has some rust on it, and that's how I get this great rusty patina. I decided to coffee dye some of my green paper, so if I need to use that in projects this month, well, it's available. I have it available. I love it because it has numbers as well. And these might be good for this tall skinny journals. So if I end up grabbing I can put these in. These are good to go, ready for the tall skinny journals. So you can see the line where the coffee was. And I'm just wiping off the extra residue and stuff. So I just let these soak for a couple hours in a cake pan with my coffee. So I'll drink my coffee and then I will run water through the coffee machine again through the grounds, and then I'll pour the grounds into my little baking sheet or a cake pan, and then I will grab paper that I want to coffee dye and just set it in there for a couple hours, and then I will bake my paper anywhere for 2 to 3 hours on warm. And since it's been cold in the house, that it's okay. And so this rusty look is just what is there. This is scrap paper, so that is good to go. And then I can wipe this off and wipe it off again. And so there you guys have it. There is part of my process video. Let's see. I don't know if I want to risk grabbing this because it's a little bit of a hot mess. So this is the bin that I work from. So the last couple days I went through and I cut all of these, and anything that has come across my desk that I couldn't quite get to in that moment, I put in this bin. And then I spend the next day or so working down that bin, and I grab 1 or 2 of the other bins that are behind me that I've done the same thing with. So with Calvin Ball, I know we're working on the scripts and the So this is just ephemera. So I might go ahead and grab these, and these already have stamps on them. They already have the writing on them. So I don't have to do those. But if I wanted to put a star on, stamp a star or stamp something else on these, like I brought out my postage stamp stickers here. I have cut down all of my clear stamps, and I keep them in these little photo pieces so that they're easy for me to maneuver back and forth. I have a journal with houses that's behind me that I'm going to be working on with that. And I want to take that coffee dyed paper, make it into either some pockets or whatever, and stamp those with these. So that is part of my goal for today. But so I can take this and, oh yeah, why don't I do the airmail? I wanted to do the airmail on this. And I have, I should do it in green if I have my green readily available. So I would probably normally do it in toffee, but because it is Calvin Ball and green is one of the colors, I do try to optimize things that I could use for that. And it also maybe has me use something that I wouldn't normally use in the process. So that is really cute. And that is really cute. You see, I know I have a whole bunch more of those in here. I just am not quite sure if it's easily accessible. Here's some littler ones. I will probably ink those with another one. Those are too little. So I've got those in green. I can pull out my toffee. Grab the star one. Whoops. So I don't know that I'm going to do a whole lot more with this craft with me, but I've got a chance to work down. I'll just put this on the side. Some of the things that were on my desk and showed you how I did that with other things on my desk. So for some reason, Calvin Ball makes me really expand things a little bit more and have a lot more fun with it. So, and then I'm just putting a lot of this stuff in my Calvin Ball bin because I know that I've worked on it for the appropriate dates and we're good to go with that. So, here is some paper, lined paper. Let's see. So I like using these lined paper in small journals, like just folding them in half. And so I can take, I'm just gonna take this lined paper and prep it We've got some little polka dots there. That is fun. And I want to use up this washi because I've had it for a while, and this will be great for summer journals and cleanup journals. So those will be good to go. But I went through and got a notepad and cut it in half so that when I make smaller journals, I have little pieces that are good to go with that. And I can just fold them up and be good to go with how those are. I can go ahead and put stamps on here, stars, and the postage stamps on here. So if I fold these up right here, I can go ahead, I don't know if it will, yeah, it just barely is making that. So some of you guys may be thinking I'm foolish who play Calvin Ball. You're like, save that last little piece for if Alice puts the use up item, if that becomes a note. That's something that happens if a lot of times, not always, but one of the rules that comes up, that is one of my favorite rules, is use up items that you have. So if you use up a sticker sheet or, yeah, then you are good to go. And that is always fun. I've learned that it's okay for me to just keep on moving. I can figure out another way to get points on my papers. So I'm just sort of cleaning up things that are here. Stenciling is one of those things that we can get points on. But I think I'm going to glue items onto the rest of these, so I have lines on the back of things that may not be as sturdy, or if I want an item to have a backing. So I'm going to use my glue stick for what is left of this, and that way I get a variety out of the things that I am doing, so everything doesn't look just one way. Let's see, and then once my desk gets a little bit unburied, I can put things away and decide if I'm going to keep things that I have unburied or not. So I go through this process every day, or probably every other day when I'm working on things. I usually have a day where I build up my stash, 1 or 2 days that I work on building up my stash, and then I have days that I am putting a journal together. So I will take what I've made, glue them or sew them into a journal. Let's see. I use up that gold ribbon. And I use these when I make tags for myself or for the shop. Here are a couple of stamps that I'll probably keep nearby during Calvin Ball because they've got the script writing and the green. It would be a green item there. Okay, so my desk is clean enough, like it doesn't have to be perfect every day. because I go through quite a bit. So my goal is today I might be able to work down that bin and finish off those affirmation notes for my sister. I may make a couple a handful of St. Patrick Day cards, and may start putting together a couple journals or prepping the signatures. So let's see. Yeah, I may add some stamps and stencils onto this little patch here as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed my sort of craft with me. What do I work on and how do I work on things? It is pretty basic. I don't know that it's really different than how anybody else works on things. I think some people are much more organized, and I just am not that person that is much more organized, because I do work on so much. Like, I've got a couple of commission journals. I know there's specific themes that I need to work on for the shop because there are events that are coming up. So the shop that my items are in are right behind the convention center. So every week there's 1 or 2 events that are happening that people are interested in specific themes. And I think that's one reason why I like to make theme journals more than anything else. So there might be square dancers that are in 1 week and basketball players that are in the next week, and somebody who likes gemstones the next week. And then the following week is a big car event, and then we have art and wine events. So I'm constantly making journals towards those events, or trying to do that a little bit more. As well, just working on journals with things that come across my desk, or that I print up going down the Creative Fabrica rabbit hole. Speaking of rabbit holes, here is a little Alice in Wonderland card. Isn't that cute? So there is a journal that both of these will go in to, and I will put that over there. So there you go. Pretty much squirrel is how I craft, and I am still able to get a lot done amazingly by the end of the day. So I hope you, again, enjoy the process. When I'm a little bit more organized on another process, I will show you what that is. But you have a great day. I hope to show you some great lace pieces in the future, because I'm really excited about working on those lace journals. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.